Welcome to Joe's Astrology, and this is the birth chart of Dawn Robinson of the R&B group En Vogue. And there's no birth time here for her. She's a sun in Sagittarius. Looks like moon in Pisces. Could be moon in Aries, but it probably is moon in Pisces because she was a singer. But we really don't know without the birth time. And I was actually a big fan of En Vogue and the Set It Off soundtrack. I love that soundtrack. Grew up as a big R&B fan myself, probably coming from my mother's influence, who was a big R&B fan as well. So let's take a look here. Recently, she's been in the news and looks like has had some money problems and some spiritual revelations. So let's take a look at these money problems. Here we see Pluto. She's had a ton of Pluto transits. This is Pluto down here early in life. She has this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that I have as well. I have it in Sagittarius, right where her sun is. Actually, her sun is right between my Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. And then there's that Uranus-Mars, and Pluto would have passed again closer to her approaching middle age here. And then recently, where Pluto went over her Venus, where I'd imagine that's where she would have had maybe some type of loss. There's this idea or concept of homelessness being thrown around, or her living in the car. Pluto is now here at 1 degrees Aquarius. It's also making a trine to Jupiter, where I've seen her looking at her videos that she's been. I talk about spiritual revelations. She's speaking about spiritual things, and maybe this Jupiter Uranus is being activated. And also this YouTube channel that she has that I found this story on CNN.com, and it's kind of crazy how someone like her posts a video like that and then comes out of nowhere, gets featured on CNN.com, and here it is, that Pluto trine Jupiter Uranus, really, as I said, Pluto crossing Venus, changed potentially, I don't know the whole story, but I'm guessing changed her financial situation for the worse. Also could have had relationship issues. I know she said something about living with her parents and then maybe having to leave or being kicked out, because we see that Venus is making a square to the nodes, Libra, and the nodes of the moon are in Libra and Aries. And her south node, where she's coming from, is ruled by Venus, and with Libra there, it has something to do with relationships and or money, and it's there south node 7 degrees. It's here actually, and it's right in between that Mars Uranus conjunction. So we could expect some separations to come out of nowhere, gains and losses of financial gains and losses. It could be gains and losses of friends and of relationships very quickly. And there's really this need to resolve this south node in this life. In a sense, she's could potentially have been moving towards this north node, where we see that the dream, the moon in Pisces, the fruition of this dream, of the singing, the fruition of the singing and the work, Saturn and Aries, and just all the good things that would come with this ambitious north node. And then but then later in life, getting thrown back into this relationship area for some reason. And I think that's what occurred with these transits. And something else I wanted to say, the rulers of these nodes are Mars and Venus. So we see Mars here and then Venus in Capricorn, Mars in Libra, that's making a square. And the good news is it's moving away from the square. So potentially she could work this out in this life, and things would get better. And oftentimes we see the square, the Mars-Venus square, there is a sense of need for independence. In her case, there could be issues with relationships and money. We see with this angle here of Libra and Aries. Some more basic things, about her being a singer. Mars or Sun in Sagittarius, Moon in Pisces. We're talking about Neptune and Jupiter. These are planets that would be good for performing larger than life experiences, exploring. Sagittarius, being a spiritual seeker and explorer, and a lot of times things in life that go hand in hand with these so-called difficult lives or separations that may precipitate the adventure and exploration that these people seek or desire. So if we look at that Neptune and the Jupiter, there is a loose sextile between Jupiter and Neptune, and Neptune is also making what looks to be like an almost exact trine to that moon that's in Pisces. And there would be a mutual reception here between, that wouldn't necessarily be the greatest mutual reception. Maybe for Neptune here, Neptune being in Scorpio, the moon in Pisces, if we switch those up, we get Neptune and where it rules in Pisces, which would be considered traditional astrology more positive, and the moon going into a sign that would be in its detriment there in Scorpio. So we could see there that maybe there's some favorability with the music industry, but then there's a sense of abandonment. Moon in Scorpio, a sense of abandonment by the music industry at some point in the life. And let's see if there's anything else. This Jupiter Uranus would, I think, especially here in the air sign with Mars and Pluto, would be something that in her future she could have success on the internet. Uranus being the internet, Jupiter being a teacher on the internet, a performer on the internet, and with her past, we can see that probably will get better if she continues on that path. And then you can see the Pluto transit is going to make a trine to this Mars, and then later in life, as she gets older, will make a trine to that Neptune. Well, that would be, I don't even know if she'll still be alive, but it's just better to see than the conjunctions, for sure. As far as more harmony or peace in the life. This Uranus here, you can see right now, Pluto's at 3 degrees, making a trine to that Uranus and getting the attention that she's going to get from all of this. We can see that the North Node, speaking of attention and success, she's got the North Node on that moon. And that could connote some success in right now in getting attention for all of this. Not necessarily success, but some forward movement, despite Saturn being there or coming up on that moon as well. Neptune is there. Neptune just recently passed over that moon, and maybe ticking off the homelessness in a sense, being this, not really in a bad sense, but living in the car, having this wandering experience where she can philosophize and think about deeper things in life and more spiritual things, esoteric things. It's also in the Scorpio decan there of Pisces. So I'm going to leave it there for now. And thanks for watching.